Hey guys, for today's video I wanted to do a story time video because a couple of days ago I went into town with my friends Amanda and Danny and we went and saw The Conjuring 2, which I will be making a review about the next couple of days, but saving that for that video. And so we went into town and we ended up having to catch the last ferry home. And I wanted to tell you guys the story of how we almost missed that ferry and how we were almost marooned in Horseshoe Bay for the night. So we were finishing up at Metrotown because we went to Silver City there to watch The Conjuring 2, and we had done some shopping and had lunch and everything. We were like, okay, well, we're gonna head back now to the ferry terminal. So in order to get back to the ferry terminal, you have to take a SkyTrain from Metrotown to, well, this is the way I know how to get back and forth from, the Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal in Metrotown. You have to take a SkyTrain from Metrotown to Burrard Street, catch a bus, the 257 Express on Burrard Street, and that takes you to Horseshoe Bay. Anyways, the buses were running really weirdly, and the one that we were waiting for never showed up, so we hopped on another one that took us to Park Royal, which, for those of you who don't know, Park Royal is another shopping center in Vancouver. And so we caught a cab from Park Royal to the ferry terminal. So once we got to the ferry terminal, we went and bought our tickets for the 9:50 sailing to Langdale. Now, because we were all hungry and we had a fair amount of time to kill before the ferry got to the terminal, we decided to go to this pub nearby and get some dinner and just, wind down a little bit while waiting for the ferry. Now, I kid you not, this pub was super, super dead. There were only like 3 other people in there besides the 3 of us girls. It didn't take long for the waitress to come to us and take our food orders, but we were still waiting for our food after 40 minutes. So while we were waiting, Amanda decided to check the current conditions for the ferries and found out that our ferry was in the port. So we needed to get the heck out of there and to the ferry or else we were going to miss it. So we called the waitress over and we tell her, hey, we need our food to go. She goes, oh, okay, your food's ready now. 10 more minutes later, like, come on, lady, like, we need to go now. But I was the first one to pay, and after I paid, Danny and Amanda told me to go ahead. So I sprinted to the ferry terminal and saw that they were locking up the toll booths and the doors to get in to the waiting rooms. And I knocked on the glass, and one of the ferry terminal workers, or one of the toll booth workers, looks at me, and I said, there's 3 of us going for Langdale, and he goes, you just missed it. And my heart literally dropped to my stomach. I literally stood there in silence for about 10 seconds, and then a wave of panic rushed over me, and I thought, oh my god, we're gonna be stuck in Horseshoe Bay for the night now. Like, the ferry's gone, like, it's over, we missed it, and now we're stuck here. But then I did something that, honestly, I wouldn't have done, let's say, if this was 2 years ago. If I'd been dealing with this specific situation 2 years ago, I would have accepted defeat. I would have been like, okay, well, that really, really sucks, and that's a very unfortunate thing that just happened, but we are now stuck in Horseshoe Bay for the night, we'll have to figure it out. And I would have accepted defeat. But over time, I have grown some balls. And I have gotten better with talking to people and being more direct and, not accepting defeat as easily. And I give myself props, and it makes me laugh when I think about this because I never thought that I would do this. I smacked my ferry ticket against the glass door so he could see it, and I pointed at it, so I was standing like this with my ferry ticket against the glass, and I said, I have a ferry ticket for this specific ferry that I bought before the cutoff time. My friends behind me, 2 of them, and Amanda and Danny were really not that far behind me. I said to him, the 2 of them have tickets as well. The 3 of us need to get to Langdale, and you're gonna let us on this ferry. Now, I honestly thought that he was gonna be like, no, it's done, like, screw off, but he opened the door, and I was, like, kind of surprised with myself, because, again, I never thought that I would say that or, do that. But He opened the door and let me in, and he was really, really rude and annoyed with me. Which, I mean, like, I'm sorry, this is the first time that this has happened to me. I've never been late for a ferry before, so, like, what else do you want from me? Anyways, he was all rude and annoyed and whatever, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're gonna have to run," like in this, like, pissed off tone. So I looked him right in the eyes, and I decided to be snarky. I said, "Challenge accepted," and I sprinted up the stairs, and I started sprinting towards the waiting room for the ferry. Thankfully, they had radioed the terminal attendant who was closing up the waiting rooms and such for the night, and I caught up to her. I thanked her profusely for waiting for us. Danny and Amanda caught up with me, and they let us on the ferry. Which, thank God we got on that ferry, because that was the last ferry of the night, and it would have really sucked if we were stuck in Horseshoe Bay, so thank you. Thank you to the people who let us on the ferry. That was so nice of you. Thank you so much. And then we sat down in the cafeteria area and ate our to-go stuff from that pub that I honestly will probably never go back to because that waiting time was ridiculous. But I was still having that rush of adrenaline and I just didn't know what to do, so I just started laughing, and like, there was nothing else for us to do, so we just like sat there laughing like crazy people, and we did get a couple of weird looks, yes, but I mean, it was just such a like so yeah, that's the story of the time that my friends and I almost missed the last ferry home. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time with a brand new video.